You're welcome to the second module of the nonprofit funding blueprint. In this module, we're going to talk about who your ideal funders are. And like I said at the very beginning, one of the mistakes most nonprofits make, most founders make, is they are talking to the wrong funders. You're talking to just anyone. You're talking to anyone you think who has money that they will give to your organization. You're thinking if you convince them enough, if you explain enough, if you show them the need enough that they are going to give. But the sad reality is it never works out that way. You can't be able to convince just anyone to give to your mission because this is it. People only give to what they are interested in. So if a person isn't interested in your cause, if a person isn't aligned with your mission, it is very clear that they would hardly ever give to you. And if they give to you, maybe they may throw some 20, 30, $50 your way and off they go. They may never come back. And this will explain to you the reason why you have one-off donors, people who never give again to your organization, or why you actually reach out to people and then you get silence or you get straight up rejection. And here's the reality. There are people who are completely in tune with your mission. There are people who completely believe in the cause that you do. There are people out there who would give to your cause without even batting an eye, without you even needing to explain. And the funny part is, these people are looking for you as well. But because you're so distracted reaching out to the wrong people, because you're so distracted reaching out to just anyone, you are, leaving out these very people that you serve. And here's the reality of it. And I want you to take this and take this today. If you learn this one thing, it's going to transform your fundraising for life. You don't only serve your impact audience, you also serve those who fund your impact. So the earlier you find them, the earlier you begin to serve them, then you can also be able to serve those you've been called to serve, who are your impact audience. So you have two audience. One is your funding audience, the people who are going to fund your mission, the people and entities. One is those you impact. Your job is to be able to connect these two audiences. So now you know who you impact, which is beautiful. You must also know who is going to fund that impact, the exact people, so that you can begin to serve both well. Because it is by serving both well, that's where you get the resources and the support you need to continue to make your impact. So this course is all about identifying who are these people that you're supposed to serve. Who are these people that are supposed to provide you the resources for you to do this good work? It is all about identifying them and then going after them with all you've got. And as one of my mentors told me many years ago, he said, every nonprofit has 1 million people out there who are supposed to fund that mission. Your job is to find these 1 million people and then work with them with all you've got to create that impact that you've been called to. Now, who are your ideal funders? Your ideal funders are people and entities that have the propensity, the affinity, and the capacity to fund your mission. And when we say affinity, we're talking about people who demonstrate the willingness and history to support your cause. When we talk about affinity, we're talking about the people who have both professional and personal connection to your mission. And then we talk about capacity, we're talking about people and entities with the resources that can be able to empower your mission so that you can be able to achieve your vision. In another way, I would say your ideal funders are people who already have an established reason to give to your cause. Your job is just to tap into those reasons. And we're going to look into the different categories of audiences. We're going to look at people, we're going to look at businesses, we're also going to look at grantors. And within these people, we're going to look at the types of people that have a reason to give to your cause, so that through them, we can be able to start searching for the exact type of people that match this group of people. So also we're going to do for the businesses, we're going to look at the types of businesses that are going to fund your course, and then we're going to start searching deep into these businesses to identify businesses that perfectly align that you can begin reaching out to. And so is it also for grantors. Now let's jump right into it. First, we're talking about the individuals that are already aligned with your cause, the people who already have a reason to give to your cause. We have 8 categories of these type of people. Your job is to find these 8 categories of people. When you find them, and you find them in their thousands, I'll tell you, money can come to your organization endlessly because, of course, it is people that would fund the mission. Now we have 8 categories, 8 criteria. The very first are people who benefit from the work that you do. We're talking about people who benefit directly and indirectly. But this is the truth. Sometimes people who benefit directly do not have the capacity to be able to fund your mission. So, for example, if you empower homeless people, of course, they may not even have the money to give to you to support your cause. But if you empower, say, non-profit founders, these are people who have the financial capacity to support your cause. So it's going to determine your strategy, right? Then when we talk about indirectly, there are people who benefit from the very work that you do indirectly. Your job is to be able to find those people because now they are a direct partnership or partners to the cause that you work on. So let's look at the 2 types of audiences that benefits from your cause. We're looking at people who benefit directly and people who benefit indirectly. We just talked about the people who benefit directly, which are the people you directly impact. If these people are people who do not have the financial capacity, of course, they do not fall into your ideal funders. But if they have the financial capacity, for, like I said, for example, you impact non-profit founders, then you can be able to get them to fund you. And of course, if you run an organization that empower non-profit founders, you could be able to get registration fees, get them to pay for courses and all that sort of things that gets them to fund your mission, right? Now, people who benefit indirectly. So, for example, let's look at it this way: an organization that empowers children. These children, of course, are the direct impact of the direct receiver of the impact. But of course, they can't fund your mission. But the parents of these children are the people who benefit indirectly of you impacting these kids. So, of course, these are people who have financial capacity to be able to support your cause. Let's look at it from another point of view. You empower homeless people. The homeless people are the direct impacts of those, the people who receive your impact. But the real estate agents that get them homes once they get off the street are indirect recipients of your work. They basically benefit and feed off the very work that you do. So it's very understandable that real estate agents should fund your cause. So it's time for you to look deep within your mission. Who benefits directly and who benefits indirectly? Define them out. And then look who has the capacity to be able to fund your cause within these two benefactors. Then you're into something big because when people benefit directly from your cause, they are your partners. And when you begin to reach out to them, it's a different ball game entirely. They are going to fund you and going to ensure you continue to remain because, of course, your very survival, your very thriving empowers them. The second is the people who overcame the need that you meet. An organization we worked with in Oklahoma, they work with people who overcame, who are going through addiction and suicidal depression and all that. We're able to find people, lots of people who have overcame addiction. And these are one of the best supporters of the organization. They didn't just give, but they also connected the organization to their network, thereby opening a floodgate of funding for the mission. So look at your cause. What do we help people overcome? What do we help people to get over? And how can we find people who have already overcome that situation? When you find them, they are your partners in this mission. You won't have to beg them. You only invite them in for partnership and they will give. They will also expose you to their network to give to your mission. The third are those who look good by associating with your mission. These are usually the politicians, the celebrities, the community leaders. Because, of course, there are people who would want to look good by associating with your cause. For example, a political leader going for a political office. They are always looking for a way to look good in the eyes of the public. Or an athlete who's actually achieving success on a national or a global level. They will gladly support your cause because, of course, it positions their image and their brand. Or the local community leader, they would line up to support you. So your job is to find people who would look good by associating with your cause and then bring them in to fund your mission. For example, you could find people up there who are actually talking about climate change, who are actually, fronting the whole climate change communication within your community. If you run an environmental organization and then you bring them in, they will love that because, of course, it makes them look good that indeed they are walking the talk. The fourth type of people we're talking about is your personal network. Your personal network, that of your board and your staff. These are people you've invested in. These are people you've shown love to. These are people you've actually stood up for. And not just you, your board members and your network. These people will gladly give to your cause because why? They believe in you already. We say for people to give to you, they need to know, like, and trust you. So it means if you already have these people, they already know, like, and trust you already. So your personal network, that of your board members, and also the personal network of your staff can also be a huge deal in funding your nonprofit organization. And of course, we have what we call the relationship mapping form. You would have seen it in the board transformation course I gave you access to. You can send that out to your board members and your staff. They can start mapping out people who they know can fund the organization from their network. The fifth type of people we're looking at are people who have similar mission to yours. Usually, when I engage this kind of people, the people I usually target are people who would want to start an organization like yours, but maybe couldn't start because of one reason or the other. If you are able to run a campaign that attracts this level of people to yourself, you have found credible co-founders for life. And when we say co-founders, not because they are coming to take on the title of co-founders, but because if you engage them and give them the feeling of co-founders, they are going to support you and give you all the resources and access to their network to help you win. Now, the sixth kind of people we're talking about are people who engage with your programs, people who are excited about your programs. Now, think about your different programs. Who are the people you think will be excited about your programs? Who are the people you think will be interested in your programs? Because now we've been looking about at the organizational level from all along. Begin to look deep within because sometimes your programs may be a way off your organization mission or may encompass other areas that your organization mission is not encompassing. For example, it could encompass tech, right? So who are people across that program spectrum that will be excited to give to your organization or that program? Also, you want to look at people who want to solve the exact need the organization meets. There are people out there who are eager to see a solution to the need the organization meets. For example, one organization we worked with, they helped people with disability. And one of the key people who we reached out to fund that organization were family members of people experiencing disabilities. Why? Because these family members are so eager to see their loved ones, people who are experiencing disabilities, overcome the depression they are going through. So one of the targets was these are people who want to see people overcome this depression. And this is the very reason this organization exists, to help people experiencing disability get above those depressions so that they can start getting their life back in order. And these family members were one top funding sources we identified, and they funded this organization, and they still do until this day. Another example you should be looking at are proven givers, people who have given to similar causes like yours before, people who have given to missions like yours before. If you find these people, I'll tell you this, you don't have to convince them because they're already in line with giving to causes like yours. You only need to invite them in for a partnership strategically. And of course, what that looks like is relative to the different types of organizations. I'm going to show you how to find each of these audiences. You don't have to worry. And then build a list of these different people. So what I did is in the instructional guide you'll find below, you'll find exact prompts that would help you create an exact profile for each type of these audiences. And then using that prompt, you're going to get search criteria for each of these type of audiences so that you can then use those search criteria to go online, to go on different platforms and search people that matches these profiles that you've created so that you can start building your list of funders. I've made the entire work easy for you. You don't have to stress over it. Just use those prompts, put in your mission statement, put in the necessary information you've been asked for. Take those prompts into any of the AI platforms, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok. Launch it in. It's going to help you create what we call search criteria for each of these types of audiences so that you can start going out there to search for them. It will show you where to even find them so that you can start going out to search for them and start building your list of people who would fund your mission for your organization. Now, the next is the businesses that are aligned with your mission. So just as there are people who are aligned and willing to give to your cause, we also have businesses that are aligned that are willing to give to your cause. And here we have 6 clear criteria. We're talking about businesses that benefit directly from your mission, indirectly or directly from your mission. And when we're talking about businesses that benefit from your mission, you have to be able to also look at it the way we looked at it from the individual's point of view. If you empower homeless people, when you empower them to leave the street, which businesses benefit? For example, the real estate companies that get them home or they buy homes from, they benefit. The home decor stores they go buy home decorations once they get homes, they benefit. The furniture stores they go get furnitures, they benefit. So you see, there are businesses that actually benefit from the work you do. Basically, they make their profit from you actually actualizing your mission. So these businesses are supposed to be your partners in this journey to impacting those you've been called to serve. Your job is to find these businesses. The second are businesses that benefit from the community you serve. So we have businesses that actually get natural resources from the community you serve to make their products. We have businesses that actually um, get human resource, people to work from the community you serve. We have businesses that actually make money from the very community you serve. Your job is to find these businesses. And we've had so many examples of such businesses given to organizations. For example, the Exxon in Texas that makes money from the Texas community. There's a community in Texas where they drill oil. They have millions of dollars in funding targeted towards these communities to be able to ensure that they keep their good image and they keep making money. Another type of businesses are businesses that benefit from the very audience that you serve. So, for example, you run an organization that empowers women. There are businesses that makes money off these women. For example, the fashion brands, the makeup brands, they make money off these women. Or you run a business, a non-profit that empower kids. There are businesses that make money off these kids. They sell beverages to kids, they sell kids clothes. You should be able to build partnership with these businesses because you make money from the very people you serve, and your organization is going to be the point for them to give back to the very people they make money from. We're talking about businesses, another type of businesses, we're talking about businesses that seek specific value, opportunities, and expertise that you can provide. So, for example, an organization we worked with that actually provides breath work and meditation, we're able to connect them with businesses that they now help, develop wellness program for these businesses so that their staff can be able to partake in wellness like breath work and meditation that helps them go through the stress of the work they go through. There are companies that actually have, wellness program, and then non-profits can go in to be able to do the work, the very expertise they have, and they get funded just by doing this. So your unique expertise, the unique opportunities you have, the unique value you can provide, if it's exposure, new market entry, customer actualization, whatever that is, it is a value most businesses will tap in. Your job is to look at the values you can provide, the opportunities within your brand, the expertise. Who are these businesses that can be able to tap into these opportunities and begin to go after them for partnership? Another type of businesses are those that will look good by associating or recognizing with your organization. So just like we explained for the individual donors, we also have companies and people that would look good by associating with your mission. So for example, some of these companies that actually pollute the environment, if you're an environmental brand, they would want to partner with you because they feel by giving to you and showing that they do, they're actually taking care of the environment. And I know some organizations may be thinking, well, we don't want to actually ruin our image by connecting with these businesses. But think about it this way: they would still continue this, messing up the environment. If by giving to you, they can't be able to, wedge up some of those effects, then it's a good thing. Lastly, we're talking about businesses that are aligned with your mission or they have similar missions to yours. Or we would say they have the same mission statement, but basically said in a different way. So, for example, if your organization empowers children for nourishment, and then you have these beverage brands that are saying, we provide products that nourish kids, you almost have the same mission statement. You're almost within the same space. You all should be partnering together to be able to empower these very kids you all said you're very determined to help. And these are fine partnership for your organization. So it's now your turn to think. Which business is out there that benefits from the audience I serve? Which business is out there that benefits from the community I operate in? Which businesses is out there that benefit directly from my mission? Which business is out there that's going to, want to partake in the value of opportunities that I provide? Which business is out there that's going to look good by associating with me? Which business is out there that has the same mission statement or aligned with my mission? When you begin to find these businesses, it becomes a whole new ball game for your organization, and that's the partnership you need to be able to fund your cause consistently. So never worry, I have put together a prompt that can help you find each of these businesses across your community and across the nation, so that when you know exactly these businesses, you know who to start reaching out to. And if you're ready to really reach out to these businesses, I also have what we call the corporate funding course that's going to guide you through how to get these businesses to fund you over and over again, year in, year out, so that you can have consistent funding for your mission. Over to the grantors. Now, there are grantors that are specifically created just to fund organizations like yours. You don't have to apply for every grant. You just have to find those grantors that are completely aligned with your mission and go after them with all you've got. Of course, in the next module, I'm going to show you how to go after these different big group of audiences we talked about. But for now, let's talk about finding these grantors, these businesses, these individuals. So there are grantors that currently fund organizations and missions similar to yours. Basically, they are there just to fund organizations like yours. And then there are grantors that actually fund programs like the programs you provide. And then there are grantors that are looking to expand into your mission space. Your job is to find these three group of grantors and then begin to reach out to them. And again, I've put together prompts that can help you find these grantors across the entire United States. You pull up a list of these grantors and then you begin to research into them so that you can start reaching out to them to raise money for your mission. Now, aside identifying these businesses, these individuals and grantors, you are going to have to build a detailed list. And there are 7 clear steps, 7 clear strategies we've put together to help you build your list. We're talking about online research, for example, going on Google, going on social media to actually research and find these businesses. We're talking about referrals, your present network, your present supporters actually referring you to people that match the profiles you've created before. We're talking about social media adverts, you targeting these group of people you've identified so that you can start getting their contact details. For example, if you run an ad that puts out a poll or survey out there, targeting, let's say you're targeting real estate agents and trying to collect their ideas, through that, you can be able to pull up their contact details and you could build thousands of lists of people who are real estate agents if that's your target audience. We also have public search, the grant directory, foundation directory, grant.gov, grant watch, right? Your library. These are places you could go to go find, your target audience based on your search criteria created. We're talking about going on to events where your target audience actually come together. This is a fine way to find them, going where they are so that you can find them. Another way to find them in their numbers is using donor search platforms like iWave, Donor Scope, Clay.ai. You're going to find thousands and thousands of people that match your different funding audience. And I think it's just some few dollars in a month. So these are ways you get to build your list. The prompts I provided you is going to help you, first of all, build, let's say, your first list, your list of at least 100 prospects. But if you're looking to expand your list to thousands of people, you can start reaching out to month in, month out. This 8-step process, because I added one in the instructional guide below, is going to show you how to run the search so that you can find more people. And if you make it a target to find at least 100 people weekly, in 3 months, you could have thousands of people already within your list that you can start reaching out to fund your mission. Now, for the next 30 days, your job is to find your ideal funders. First, create a detailed profile using the prompts I provided you. Next, research people based on those prompts. Pull up your first 100 list. Then next, go on to build your more detailed list. Once you have your list of people, you're ready for the next module where we're going to be talking about how to start reaching out to these people so that you can start raising money from them the right way. Congratulations, you just completed the second module of this course. We're going to be going to the third module so that you can learn how to start reaching out to them to raise money. Remember, every nonprofit has its $1 million audience. Your job is to find them and go after them with all you've got. And I'll tell you this, if you can do so, you will raise money, and so much money for your mission that you would never be able to imagine that this is possible. I'll see you in the next module where we talk about reaching out to your audience the right way. It's bye for now.